I decided to just stop playing the guitar for a week and see what happened. And this was a challenge for myself to learn and experience what it would be like if I gave up music. If this interests you, I hope that you will stay tuned to the rest of the video. So if you're a singer or you play an instrument, have you ever wondered what would happen if suddenly you stopped? I'm going to be exploring what happens when you stop playing an instrument and how you feel about that. The first day, I found myself looking at the guitar hanging on the wall, almost mocking me, because I kept thinking, well, I really want to play, but I'm not going to play today. And so that was the first thing that happened to me. Then, so that was day one. And I also felt overall like something was missing. I felt irritated that I wasn't playing music or singing. And it even was so bad that I didn't want to hear music and I didn't want to watch music on TV or anything. I didn't want to watch a music video. I just wanted nothing to do with music that day. And I think that was sort of an eye-opener for me, that how much I enjoy playing music and singing, and also that it does something to your brain that almost has somewhat of an addictive effect. So when people say they're addicted to playing music, it actually sort of is a thing. At least that's how I felt about it. So let's keep going and talking about what happened next. On day 2, I was starting to get a bit angry and irritable. And when people asked me for things that I didn't want to do, I just kind of snapped at them and I was really angry. So what happened on day 3? Well, by day 3, I felt like the guitar was just mocking me. It was hanging on the wall and just staring me in the face and almost teasing me in some way. You're not get to play me today. And I don't know why I had this thought. That brings us to day 4. So then on day 4, I actually packed up everything, all my equipment, my microphone, my music stand, everything, and put it in the closet so I wouldn't have to stare at it. And the guitar was still hanging on the wall, but it was in a room that I didn't have to necessarily look at it. I could go to a different place in the house, but the other items were just constantly in my face, so I put them in the closet. By day 5, I was still quite irritated, but a little bit less, and I really wanted to sing. That was actually the thing that bothered me more than the playing guitar. So it was the ability to sing and use your voice, and that bothered me more than anything. And what I found interesting here, and I'll comment at this point, which is I've given up sugar before in the past, and it almost had the similar experience. The first day, you're kind of irritable and you're mad, like you feel like you need to have some sugar. And after 4 or 5 days, almost like the cravings for the sugar reduce. And I sort of noticed something similar here with the music. Although I don't think people would say that guitar or singing are bad for you like sugar is. I guess everyone has their own opinion about what's good or bad. So let's continue to day 6. Well, day 6 was the turning point. I just couldn't take it anymore, at least for the singing part. I was in the car and I had put some music on, which in the days before, I just couldn't even really listen to music in the car. And I think I had this overwhelming feeling that I was going to lose my ability to sing. And that drove me wanting to sing sooner rather than later. And I just belted out some songs in the car, and that's always an easy place to sing. No one else is listening to you, and no one else would know that I was singing. But I knew, and I knew it was day 6, and this challenge was for 7 days. So by day 7, I thought to myself, why did I do this in the first place? This seemed like a silly challenge to do. And was very happy to be able to pick up the guitar on day 7 and start playing and singing again. And what I learned from this experience is that I really do enjoy and almost need to have this outlet for myself, for the singing and for the playing music. And I need the creativity outlet as well for writing songs and having a place for that. What I noticed about the guitar playing was that I kind of had a newfound excitement about the guitar and maybe learning some new chords. And I realized that just because I stopped playing for a week, I didn't lose all my skills. So these skills don't just evaporate in a day or so. I think of people who go to the gym, 3 times a week, and then they'll have an illness or something and they stop going and they're all in a panic because they didn't go and their muscles are going to atrophy and this sort of thought process around going to the gym. And it's kind of similar with playing an instrument. You can take a week off. Nothing's going to really happen. It's okay. And you can come back to it without a problem. The other thing that I noticed was this fresh feeling, and that was kind of a nice. So I guess if I had to think about doing something similar again, I think taking a few days off is not such a bad idea. And it can help rejuvenate, yourself if you maybe needed a break because you're playing too much and you need kind of a day or two off. I think that's a good thing. But for me, 7 days was just too long. And knowing that, like, there's no end to this. So on day 1 or 2, you're thinking there's a lot more days I have to get through. And in the end, it was good to get back to playing the guitar. And so also being able to make these videos to share as well. I hope that you enjoyed my little journey through my experience of quitting guitar for 7 days. I hope that you found it entertaining, and I look forward to seeing you on a future video. If you like this type of video, I hope that you will like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you next time.